stood up there. Part of what I do as chief of detectives is I have the task, if you will, of kind of briefing the news media on what we're doing, what we're having. Started that day, and for 12 days straight, I took the task of talking about this case, and I really took it to heart. Because as things started to develop with this case and this little boy, I started assuming the responsibility of trying to speak for him. And if there's a person in this room who didn't shed a tear as this case progressed, well, I'd like to talk to you afterwards, because I can fill you in on some details that'll fix that. It's a task, and it's a pleasure for me to have the job that I have. As the chief of detectives, and I've been a homicide detective and gone through it, you find yourself intimately involved with a stranger whose voice you've never heard, whose face you've never looked at other than in a photograph, and you know more about their life and their death than you really should or could imagine. And as this case progressed and we did what we could do, and I got up and spoke, part of what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to give the facts and let the public know what you're doing and what you're looking for and what's happened. I tried to take that a little step further. You don't see news briefs or whatever where you talk about people praying a whole lot. That wasn't good enough for me. I am a man of God. I am a Christian. Jesus is in my heart. And I'll leave the preaching to the preachers, but I couldn't not ask for prayers for him when we weren't sure if he was alive or not, for his family, for everyone in this community who learned about this and ached about this and heard about this. I couldn't help but ask for prayers. And one of my prayers was to find him sooner than later. Obviously, at first, we wanted to find his little smiling face alive. Part of what we do is learn that that's sometimes not the case. And I truly wished for the prayer to be answered, that we found him. And I wanted that because I wanted the lesson to get out there that prayers asked are prayers answered. And so Monday rolled around here, and we found ourselves on Snyder Street. And without going into details, because I don't plan on doing that a whole lot, I found myself with some prayers answered, not the way I wanted them to be. And Pastor, one of y'all talked about the whys. You can't ask why. You can't ask God why. At least I don't. His wisdom and his grace and everything that he's got, who am I to ask why? Part of my job is to try to figure out some of the whys, because my job and these guys' jobs and all my homicide team that's on that back wall's job is to provide the answers to some whys so we can have some justice. And your folks from the beginning with little Lonzie's case stepped up there and put themselves where they needed to be for the family. Good Lord, this case from the get-go has been just mind-numbing. The explanations and the whys that you try to put yourself together, it's hard to do. I talked some of the times during my news briefs about my little ones. My little ones aren't so little anymore. My daughter's 19 and my son's 14. I can guarantee you, though, that after some 12 and 14 and 16-hour days, they wondered what I was doing, waking them up at 2 a.m, because I did that to hug them. Because you never know when that next time that you're going to get to do it is. And if you don't take the chance when you have it, you just don't know when you're going to have that chance again. It touches the investigators who do this job. You carry it with you. I can guarantee each one of these ladies and guys that do this can shut their eyes right now and take themselves immediately back to a case that they had, Lonzie, or another one of the dozens that they've worked throughout their career, and put themselves right back into it. But we do this job less as a job and more as a vocation, as a calling, as a love of trying to find justice, a love of trying to speak for those who can't speak. I talked a second ago about somebody who you've never seen or never laid an eye on. The responsibility that you take as the investigator that tries to work to provide answers to a family or justice to them, it's awesome, and we certainly don't take it lightly. And I can tell you, as the talking head for this, I've tried to do anything but take it lightly. I've tried to do anything but handle that little boy's case with the love that I would give my little boy if he was out there. The filth that we saw this week and how we removed it, as it's anywhere but happy, but it's prayers asked and prayers answered. The way that you in this community, just like me, who have never laid an eye on that little boy other than in a photograph, came out in droves to support the people who are looking, people who are working. Since that day, I have found myself getting stopped by people who have asked, do we think we'll find him? My answer's always been, I'm not going to stop until we do. If there's a way for me to do it that's legal, I'm going to do it. If that means just really doing whatever I can do to facilitate for my investigators to do it, or for the search teams to do it, or whatever it took to take that little boy from, and just like none of us knew very well. I can't say none of us knew. Somebody knew. But to take him from where he was and put him where he should be, felt like what we should do. Felt like what I needed to do. And it felt like if my voice was the one that was going to be heard, it was going to be the one that drove us to that point. It wasn't going to stop until we did. So I can say thank you to y'all, to everybody who turned on that TV, everybody who watched, everybody who brought a banana or a gallon of water or some sunscreen, or most importantly, said a prayer. Said a prayer to the Lord above that we would find some answers. This is a very sad occasion, but know that prayers asked were prayers answered. Thank you all very much.